The beast is rising, and it might already be here. Pay attention. Revelation 13 talks about the beast that rises out of the sea. And as John observes the beasts, he says it's like a leopard, and his feet as the feet of a bear, his mouth the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him his power, his seat, and great authority. But in order to understand Revelation 13, you must go back to Daniel chapter 2, where God reveals to Nebuchadnezzar in a dream 3 world empires that will rise after him, making a total of 4 by which he is the first. Now, when Nebuchadnezzar wakes up from the dream, it's noted in the passage that he can't remember the dream, although he's still troubled by it. And since he can't remember the dream, he also does not have the interpretation. And this is where Daniel comes in, where God supernaturally gives Daniel the dream and the interpretation of the dream. Now, before Daniel tells Nebuchadnezzar the dream and interpretation, he prefaces it with something very important. He tells Nebuchadnezzar that there is a God in heaven that reveals secrets and makes known to the king what shall be in the latter days. And then he says in verse 29, "As for you, O king, the thoughts came into your mind upon your bed, what shall come to pass hereafter." Now, the term latter days in the Hebrew translates to end of days. And the term hereafter in the Hebrew translates to what happens next. So the dream that God gives Nebuchadnezzar relates to what will happen next and what will happen in the latter days. So when it comes to the interpretation, there's first a shadow of fulfillment, then afterwards there's a fulfillment at the end of days. And here's the dream. "You, O king, saw, and behold, a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before you, and the form thereof was terrible. This image's head was of fine gold, his breast and his arms silver, his belly and his thighs brass, his legs of iron, and his feet part iron and part clay. You saw till a stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon the feet that were of iron and clay, and broke them in pieces." So Daniel sees this great image, which is a statue of a man. And this image was divided into 4 sections. These 4 sections were 4 types of metals. Now let's get the interpretation. Daniel tells Nebuchadnezzar in verse 38, "You are the head of gold." So now the head of gold has been identified, which is Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. "And after you shall arise another kingdom inferior to you, and another third kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth." And verse 40 says, "And the 4th kingdom shall be strong as iron." Now, if you want the full teaching that will explain all of these things, here it is. Now, notice that it says, "After you, Nebuchadnezzar, will arise another kingdom." And so this will identify what the next kingdom is. And the 3 kingdoms that rose after Babylon were Medo-Persia, Greece, and Rome.